you guys. So I talked to you guys about, oh Lord, Blue is not. Let's see if I'll close the door, then he'll probably come back down. Oh, there he goes. Okay, I see him. His head popped up like, Mama. So let's talk about Vincent D. Herbert, all right? Evidently, some text messages leaked to the Neighborhood Talk, I believe. Neighborhood Talk or Neighborhood Talk 2. Maybe they have 2 pages. But anyway, they posted some text messages, a text exchange between David and Vince, you know, Tamar's current, well, her now ex-boyfriend, but her most current boyfriend, and of course Vince being her ex-husband. I guess David had reached out to Vincent because he wanted to know what he needed to do with Tamar's and Logan's their things. Now, I was always under the impression that he was living in Tamar's place, but maybe they had separate places and she had stuff over where he was. I don't know. But anyway, he had her things, had Logan's things, and reached out to Vincent to find out what he needed to do with them. Okay. So he reaches out to him and he tells him how he's on his spiritual journey. This is in the text messages, that he is on a spiritual journey, you know, to cleanse himself. And he's doing that with his mother, who's a spiritual, you know, counselor, I guess, and maybe his brother-in-law. I guess maybe his brother-in-law is a pastor or something. You know, he said that as he's sure that Vincent can relate, that, you know, in an effort to cleanse himself from, you know, all the toxicity that he's been through, you know, it's just going to take a little time. But in the meantime, he got this shit of Tamar's and Logan's, and what should he do with it? Okay. Well, when he sent that to Vincent, Vincent didn't take too kindly to the text message. And this is how Vincent responded. And I'm going to read it to you verbatim. It is now safe to say she's moved on from this vile and abusive relationship. And hearing the tape from the other day, I don't blame her. Tamar is getting help. As you know, she has been in deep therapy with Dr. V, who treats and cares for people like Tamar. He went on to say, please know that after the stunt you pulled on Saturday, you seeing my son is absolutely out of the question. You used a 7-year-old boy and his emotions for your own publicity stunt. Never again will you be alone with him for any reason. You used Tamar's love and trust for you and manipulated time with Logan to use him for your Instagram and likes. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly what that meant. I'm assuming that David must have posted Logan or posted something about Logan on his Instagram to gain sympathy, maybe showing how much he loves Logan or whatever. All right. We know that him and Tamar they're in a bad place, so maybe you just need to lay off and not even post nothing about this boy is 7 years old. It's not like he's an adult child and you could say like, yeah, I still have a relationship with this adult child, you know, because we have a relationship. I mean, the only reason why you would have a relationship with a 7-year-old kid is because you were involved with their mom. All right. Otherwise, their paths would have never even crossed. So I can see where Vincent would have a problem with that, especially with Tamar and David having their problems. Now, somebody was like, oh, honey, the show just shows how controlling David is and how he's this way and he's that way. I have no interest in watching the show, but I haven't had interest in the Braxtons at all. Okay. In years, I just haven't had the stomach to watch it. I can't even imagine watching that show right now with everything else that's going on, especially with me side-eyeing them, their relationship and all of that. You know, it's just like, that's a train wreck that I'm not even trying to see. Okay. And I just will keep saying that I want Tamar to get the help that she needs, and she's not going to get it dealing with all of this extra bullshit that don't matter. You don't need it. You don't need it, girl. You don't need it. Go on and take care of yourself. But as far as Vince is concerned, he ain't really got too much more patience for David. I've seen them in pictures together where it looked like maybe they was getting along. I guess that was when times was good. But clearly times ain't good no more. And Vincent is like, fuck you. He ain't got nothing else to do with you. And there's no reason why David needs to be around Logan anyway. Logan's going to probably end up being with his father, especially if things continue on in this way. Okay? Too volatile. The boy needs some stability. Let's get him in a place where all this ain't going on, at least until Tamar can get back on her feet. So that's what's going on there. But yeah, Vincent was just like, yeah, don't come texting me talking about as you can relate. No, motherfucker, I can't relate to your shit. Even though, you guys, we cannot forget that Tamar accused, Vincent of abusing her. That story was always strange. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't believe it, but it was just like the family. Well, sorry, Tamar didn't do that, did she? It was the mother. That's right. The mom came out and said all of that. But then the sisters kind of made it seem like it wasn't true. And then, it was just, everything was weird. All of that was weird for a minute because it was like the sisters felt like it didn't happen and the mom said it did. And Tamar kind of, went along with the mom. But, everybody still really loved Vince and all of that. It was just too convoluted for me, child. So anyway, here we are today. Okay. Tamar, go on and just take care of yourself and don't worry about the rest. All right, you guys, next story. So, AndrewGillum, he was on the Tamron Hall show, her debut show for her season 2, which congratulations to her because remember, she got that show and then COVID hit and I was worried she wasn't going to get a season 2 because COVID has wiped out not only just businesses but a whole bunch of shit on TV too. A lot of people have been hit with the guillotine because of the coronavirus. So I thought that she was going to be one of the ones that fell under it. But you know what? We love Tamron Hall and she's made it to a second season. So as her explosive first episode of the second season, she interviewed AndrewGillum. And this is his first interview since the big scandal happened. We haven't seen him. I was heartbroken that shit happened because he was really on the fast track. People was really liking him. He was so well spoken. He was a good looking black guy. He was down there in Florida giving them hell, Florida being a big time Republican state. Like we needed somebody like him. He just had so much promise. And then all of this scandal that happened just completely knocked him out, not of just the races of, possibly winning something in the future, but just knocked him out, period. Okay. Because it wasn't just that he was, drunk in a hotel, passed out. I mean, I wish it could have just been that simple, but we ain't had no clothes on. It is piles of boo-boo everywhere. It is damn stains. It's damn drugs everywhere. I mean, it was looking like it was staged and I still kind of feel like it was, but he definitely was there, involved. It was all these rumors floating around that the guy was an escort, and that AndrewGillum was gay and, was tending to his special proclivity, of partaking in that lifestyle down low and whatever. And it completely knocked him out. Okay, we ain't seen nothing else of AndrewGillum since it happened. Well, now he is doing his first interview. I still haven't seen I looked all over fucking internet this morning trying to find it. I could not find it. Not all in one piece. I mean, I just kept on looking at 1 minute, 1 minute YouTube videos of different questions that she's asked him that he answered. But I couldn't get like the full, however long, 30-minute, 45-minute, however long interview it was. I did watch the after show and got an idea of what they talked about on there. But yeah, I still haven't watched it in full. But basically, from what I gather from the after show, they're saying that he didn't really fully kind of get into what happened at the hotel other than saying that he didn't do drugs, he didn't cheat on his wife there, that, he had drank something and kind of alluded to the fact that maybe he had been drugged. And then the next thing he was passed out and all that. And the child, we don't know why we ain't got no clothes on, why shit everywhere. Like, we don't know none of that. And we didn't get to the painful, deep part of any of those questions. But, I when I was watching him talk, I mean, it was almost like, I don't even know if I really can watch the whole interview because it just seems like it was so embarrassing. For you to have to get up there and talk about, you know, these things that happen. It was embarrassing for me because it wasn't just him. It's like him and his wife, RJ. And, you know, she's got to be there, and, you know, she's still going to be supportive of him and whatever they decide for the future of their marriage. But, you know, she's kind of in that, I would imagine that she's in a I can't kick him while he's down kind of stage. So I've got to give the impression, even if I might not feel that way, but I've got to get on here and make it be like, you know, this was our marriage. This is something that we're dealing with, you know, and I've got to be here and not break down and maybe not cry and not show any weakness. Like, oh, I tell you, black women, we got to be so fucking strong all the goddamn time. Just all the time. I mean, women in general have to be it, but black women really gotta be it, you know, and this was just another example, but, you know, and she was, you know, he says that he identifies as bisexual, not gay. The debate was whether or not, you know, bisexuals are just gay people who haven't chosen a side, or if, you know, bisexual people are just like any other sexual orientation, where if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, you know, whether or not you're bisexual, heterosexual, or gay, if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, then the temptation to cheat with anybody is out there, you know. AndrewGillum said that, yes, the pool is bigger because I'm attracted to both men and women. However, if I've made this covenant with my wife to say that I am going to be with you and I'm not going to cheat, then that is the same that anybody should make in a relationship if they don't, if they have a traditional relationship with their person. So I'm married, or I'm with my boyfriend or girlfriend. I am only with you. That doesn't mean that I'm not attracted to other people. I see good looking people all the time, you know, but I don't make the choice to act on it. So, I mean, you know, I got that part of what he was trying to say. But how embarrassing is it to even just to have to discuss like your sexual orientation, you know, because when we look at politicians, we don't assume, we don't even care about their sex lives. You know, we just, they're Republican, they're Democrat, they're independent, they're this, you know, they're that. And we get on with the business of politics. But, you know, when you now have to start talking about your sexual it's just, I was just embarrassed. And I was just like, I just hate this. I hate this. I hate that it makes RJ look like, you know, here she goes staying with a man that's out there doing who know what and all of this shit, you know. I just hated it for both of them up there. I still like AndrewGillum. I obviously don't know the ins and outs. Like, I know Funky Geneva did like a really long in-depth video about it. I didn't watch the video, but I know that I saw in my feed that he did a video, and I'm sure he knows probably a lot of backstory on the other, you know, the other side of that. I'm just telling you guys how I felt for him in this instance, in this video. In this interview. I would have liked to have seen him be successful. I would have liked to have seen him get out there and really give the, you know, Florida a run for their money. And, you know, because he was so close. I think he lost by like 0.5% or something. Like, that's how close we were to almost getting Florida, you know? So he had and then it was even talk about him possibly being the vice president, you know, elect. Like, people was watching him, and maybe that was another reason why he might have found himself in this situation, you know, even though he clearly did it himself. You know, the other side may have known what his weaknesses were and really did play on him, you know, and he found himself where he was. No excuses, definitely no excuses. He did what he did. He's got to pay for it. He's rehab. He said that he was depressed after he lost his election, and he was drinking and drinking a lot and rehab. And so, you know, I think this was just his way of trying to get back into the, you know, back out there and being comfortable with being in front of the camera and talking to people and facing. It was so out there anyway. There was no way that he could not talk about it. Okay, he had to talk about it. So, maybe that was just his way of breaking the ice. Like I said, him and RJ saying that they don't know for a fact that they are going to stay together. But that's just for them to try to figure out as a married couple. That their marriage falls into a large spectrum of what people have, what they agree. They kept saying the covenant of their marriage, from open relationships to all kind of things that people do that you wouldn't know if you wasn't found face down in a pile of shit in a hotel room with no clothes on. That's what's happening there. But he looks great, good looking man. His wife looks great. She's a good looking woman. I just hate that all that happened, and time is going to tell if they're able to recover from this. And if, he's going to be able to get back into the race. I mean, if the one in DC, if Marion Barry was able to get back into it, I don't see why, he can't either. If people band together, those who were supportive of him before, if folks can just get past, that unfortunate night, and because he ain't done nothing to nobody else but himself. I hope it works out for him. I would like to see him back out there because he was sharp, you guys. And I would see him on CNN and I would be like, wow, he's got it. And then all of a sudden he ain't had it no more. So, but did you guys see it? If anybody knows where the full fucking interview is, can you please let me know? Maybe send me the, you can't put links in the comments on YouTube. So, you can maybe just send it to me on Twitter or on Instagram. Okay. But yeah, you guys, did you watch the interview? Have you forgiven AndrewGillum? All right, you guys, now, next story up, KMichelle, she let us know in an IG story, I believe, or IG Live with her followers that she was very sad when she did not get the part of Mercedes on the runaway hit P-Valley. Now, you guys know we love P-Valley. Down in the valley when the girls get naked, if throwing bad, then you know she gonna shake it. 1, 2, break her. 3, 4, break. Listen. I sure did miss me some P-Valley on Sunday. My night was all thrown off. The only reason why it worked out okay is because I was watching Gladys and Patty. But afterwards, I was like, dang, no more P-Valley. A child with this coronavirus. Like, when is it coming back? They keep on saying soon. But, I know the Rona gonna have, put a little strangle on them a little bit. I hope they're able to work around it, and still able to keep these bomb-ass, crowds for the strip club and everything. Like, we need all of that so it can look realistic. I mean, I know there's ways that they can make it look realistic. But, I'm just like, I want P-Valley to maintain that gritty rawness, but, the fun times, the part that make us laugh, the part that make us cry, but the great storyline, the good characters, well developed, people that we can relate to, people that are human. I want all that to stay the same. P-Valley, I don't want to be the same way that Claus was. Claus started off exactly the same way, you guys. We loved us some Claus. And then as the seasons went on, I mean, it's hard to maintain that first season, like, super hit success, but I think by the third season of Claus, we was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. I mean, we still watched it. We still enjoyed it, but it clearly wasn't like the first season. So I just want P-Valley to continue on and keep it going. Katori Hall, she has a bona fide hit there. So we need that to stay the way it is. But anyway, I got off track, y'all. I just missed that show on Sunday, though. But you guys, KMichelle said that she actually had tried out for Mercedes, and that it had been whittled down to just her and Brandy Evans. And we know what happened. Brandy Evans got the job. She said that she was so hurt about it. She was so upset. She cried. She really wanted that. That was the closest that she's ever gotten to actually getting a part that she had tried out for. But she said that, her body wasn't right. She had holes in her body. She wasn't up to, she wasn't able to probably do the things that we know that Brandy is able to do on the show. Brandy is a trained dancer, and she's got many, many skills other than just acting. So I'm sure that also lent into the reason why they picked her, because she has that experience. And, you know, the less that we got to do to try to get you to look convincing on stage, you know, dancing as a stripper, then I'm sure that's a benefit, you know. And then at the end of the day, you guys, this happens. Like, people try out for roles, and, you know, only one person can get the role. So there's a lot of people that didn't get it, you know. So while I understand how K. Michelle might feel, you know, people are like, she didn't get the job, right? Look, the girl can be sad that she didn't get the job. You know, she wanted it. You know, many of us have wanted things that didn't work out in our favor. We had the right to be upset about it too. You know, I would like to think that the best person for any job is the person that gets it, you know. So I don't know how K. Michelle would have done, but I know that Brandy does very well in the role, and I can't imagine anybody else doing it at this point. She put her staple on it now. The same with Big Frida said that, I don't know, what does Big Frida identify with? I don't want to say he or she, because I don't want to offend anybody, but Big Frida said that they reached out to them as well, and for the Uncle Clifford role, but Big Frida didn't get that role. It ended up going to Nico Anand, I believe is how you say his last name. And now we can't imagine nobody else being Uncle Clifford. Like, that's just how it goes, you guys. That's part of the whole game. You know, if you're going to be in it to try to, you know, compete with many, many talented people out there, you know, you got to get the thick skin. You know, you get through an audition, you didn't get that part, you just move on to the next. You know, one monkey don't stop no show. There's still many roles out there to get. Maybe not that many for Black women. I understand that. But, you know, you just got to stay on the grind. So, I mean, I feel for her, because when you want shit, and you don't get it, you upset. You know, but I also feel like, you know, that's just the name of the game. And girl, if you want to really, you know, put your foot into acting, then just start auditioning and see what you can get, you know, what you can come up with. So she'll be all right, y'all. She all right. She gonna be all right. She gonna be all right. She said she still haven't watched the full season. And I probably wouldn't either if I was, you know, in that state, still just being so hurt that you didn't get that, you know, that part, especially with it being the hit that it was. But like, all these things work together. Like, the right cast is where they are. You know, I'm wondering how it's going to work out with Isaiah Washington. You know, him being so very much, I mean, I hate to say anti-Black, because I don't know if that's what he is, but he is just so, I mean, he seems like he's anti-Black to me, you know, and you black, but you seem like you got a problem. Like, so I feel like they already got enough issue with dealing with Isaiah Washington, you know, and maybe they just didn't need no extra, you know, because we know that K. Michelle, she can be a lot. But I believe maybe Isaiah Washington is very much professional, and hopefully he don't bring them antics around the rest of the show and all of that. And hopefully his antics don't put a cloud over the show, because his character, I believe, next season is going to be way more involved. Because you guys see now, we realize that he is a part of that Delta gang, that homeboy that got killed. They had on the same ring. I didn't realize that. People pointed that out to me since the show has been over. So he's going to be more involved. So he's important. So we can't have that motherfucker going way off the deep end. We need him to act like he got some goddamn sense. Because like everybody else, I can't see anybody else playing the mayor either. But yeah, it's okay, Kay. Okay, girl, you just, if you want to be an actress and you just get your, you know, put your foot to the pavement, and, you know, start trying out. But you'll be all right, girl. You'll be all right. And then lastly, you guys, I guess this is my one quickie, because it ain't really much of the story. Congratulations are in order for LaToya Luckett and her, I believe, estranged husband. What the man's name is? What is his name? Oh, I can't think of it. I'll put it on the screen, y'all. Anyway, they have welcomed in their new baby boy, Tyson Wolf. okay? Tysun, and then wolf as in the animal. The baby was big. I think he was like 9 pounds, 9 pounds, 10 ounces or something like that. I mean, he was almost damn near a 10-pound baby. This will be the second for the two of them together. This will be the third total for the husband. You know, he had an older daughter before those two got married, and then they have had since a daughter and then a little baby Tyson. So no word on whether or not Latoya and her husband will make it back to each other. I believe that they're broken up or estranged, I should say, because she has removed her following status from him and vice versa. I'm not sure if he, you know, she took all his pictures off Instagram. I didn't go and check all that, but y'all tell me that they ain't following each other no more. So it looks like them two are not together. But hey, when you have a baby together, then you still together, at least for the next 18 years. So we're going to have to buckle it on down and get past whatever feelings we got to make sure that we raise this boy to be the successful black man that he should and can and will be. Okay. So, yeah, and I'm sure they do. I mean, I'm sure they will. So, that's it on that. Yeah. Congratulations to the, well, they're not happy couple, but congratulations, Latoya girl and your man, wherever he is. All right, you guys, let me get off of here, get in the house, and get this edited and up to you. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.